Hey everybody, Rosematter here. Welcome to part 18 of my Tsukihime playthrough. So last week we wrapped up Ciel's roots, which means it is time for a new one, and we are going to be doing Akiha's route this time. So she is a mysterious character as well. She's kind of just been a background character, just basically scolding my character, and you know, there was a thing at the end where it's like we learned that she knows about the details of what happened to some degree, but I'm wondering if Akiha, does she have some powers herself, or like, you know, how, I don't know, like we know with Ciel, we know with Arcuate that they are very powerful characters who have abilities and who are very like invested in the whole vampire thing, but like with Akiha's route, what does that entail? There's only one way to find out. Let's go ahead and begin Akiha's roots and we'll find out. Let's go. I arrive in class earlier than usual. Whew, I walk to my desk next to the window. Good morning, Tono-kun. An unfamiliar voice greets me. Eh? I turn around, confused. Oh, we're actually gonna get to this girl. Wasn't this the girl that kind of disappeared halfway through? She was very, like, barely showed up in the previous ones. Alright, Tono-kun, the teacher was looking for you. He said he wanted to talk to you about your house. My home? It must be about me moving. I should have finished the formalities yesterday. Perhaps there's something I forgot to do. The girl doesn't move, but stands there looking at me. Good morning, Yumizuka. Yeah, good morning, Tono-kun. It looks like you remember my name. Sighing with relief, Yumizuka Satsuki gives a faint smile. I can remember the names of my own classmates, you know? It's just that I haven't spoken to you much. That could apply to the previous playthroughs. It's like, I think I spoke maybe 2 lines to her. Yeah, I was a little nervous about talking to you. Yumizuka smiles again. She seems happy about something. Yumizuka continues to stare at me as if she wants to say something else. To be honest, I don't know her that well. Although we're in the same class, I can count the number of times we've spoken. But Yumizuka Satsuki is the center of attention. She's often the topic of conversation among the boys, and there aren't any bad rumors about her among the girls. In short, she's your typical class idol. Naturally, she's always surrounded by a crowd. She's the complete opposite of a loner like me. While I might be able to remember the name Yumizuka Satsuki, there's no reason for her to remember the name Tono-shiki. It seems like some bothersome coincidences are at work today. Tono-kun, can I ask you a question? If I can answer, you can ask as many as you want. Sorry if it's something personal, but you said you're moving. Are you going to move somewhere far away? Her voice trails off, as if it's hard for her to ask. She clasps her hands to stop fidgeting. I know it's sudden, but will you be transferring somewhere? No. I'm changing my residence, but not my school. My new house is still in the town, so it's no big deal. Oh, that's good. Yumizuka sighs with relief. Maybe we were, like, friends as children? Maybe she's Akiha's friend? Because I'm like, why is this girl all of a sudden, like, right away from the beginning of this playthrough, all of a sudden this girl's getting some screen time? So maybe this is the Akiha route, so I doubt we're gonna have a romance with this girl. Oh god, I hate, oh, frick. Yeah, that's right, we're probably gonna have a romance with Akiha. I know she's, like, not my real sister, but still, ugh. If I had a romance with this girl instead, that would actually be preferable. How odd. Why would something like me moving cause that kind of reaction? So maybe the fact that this girl disappeared, I'm assuming she was maybe one of the victims. But the fact that nobody brought up again that this girl just suddenly just disappeared halfway through, and they'd be like, I think Arihiko was like, oh yeah, she just stopped coming to school, and especially if she's this popular and nobody says anything about it, that's odd. Maybe she's secretly a vampire hunter too. Or maybe she's a vampire herself. There's a lot in this game. Are you going to leave the Arimas? Yeah, I enjoyed living with them, but I can't leech off of them forever. Huh? Ah, how does Yumizuka know? Okay, so she's probably friends with Akiha, or she was friends with me as a kid. Or she's a weird stalker that knows a lot about me. No one at the school should know I was living with the Arimas except for a certain guy. "What's up, Tohno?" A carefree, loud voice rings out from the classroom doorway. As if on cue, the guy who's been my friend since middle school appears. "Hey, if it isn't Yumizuka, it's not often I see you talking to Tohno." "A morning, Inui-kun." Yumizuka looks away with an unenthusiastic reply. I guess she isn't the type who would respond well to a guy like him. "Tohno's picking up chicks? What the hell's going on? I thought you weren't interested in them." Arihiko exclaims his joke loudly. "You moron, stop spreading lies. I'm a normal guy. Of course I'm interested in girls." "Is that right? Good for you, man. Still, these days, girls find it more amusing if you have a weird sex drive instead. But they'll only find it amusing, and it won't go any farther." His bottomless, cheerful laughter echoes throughout the morning classroom. I let out another sigh. I once again wonder, like I have many times before, how I ended up knowing this person. His hair dyed orange, ears pierced, his vicious glare that shouts he'll pick a fight with anyone, anytime, and is wearing of rebellious clothes. Inui Arihiko is the only free-spirited outlaw in our university-oriented high school. Do you have to be so loud this early in the morning? I'm depressed about all sorts of stuff, so stay away from me today, okay? I wave my hands to shoo him away. Depressed? What's wrong, man? Is it that time of the month? Wait, I take it back. Rather than just for today, stay away from me for the rest of my life. My depression will only get worse with you around. Ignoring Arihiko, I head back to my own desk. Dropping my bag and taking a seat, I stretch my back. Hey, you can't just ignore other people like that, Tohno. You're gonna hurt people with that careless attitude of yours. Oh, that's news to me. Isn't there some way I can kill them instead? You could tell me how. I'll repay you by trying it out on you. That's cold, man. Aren't you just a little nastier than usual this morning? Didn't I tell you I'm depressed? Other people aside, I'm certainly not showing any kindness to you. Arihiko sighs. Why are you only mean to me, Tohno? You're like a saint to everyone else. It's not fair. What, you just figured it out? The world's unfair. You really are only mean to me. Arihiko gives another exaggerated sigh. I didn't try particularly hard to be cold to Arihiko. It's just the kind of relationship we have. So, Arihiko, what's a chronically late night owl who never shows up until second period doing here in homeroom? It's a little... no, it's very odd. Ah, I was thinking that too. I guess being at school on time isn't just for when I happen to wake up early. Well, I won't comment on your hobbies, but what I'm asking is why you woke up early. Why I woke up early? I guess it's because I can't stay out late since all that fuss started, so I actually go to sleep at night now. You've heard the stories about the serial killer, haven't you? I see. Come to think of it, I did hear something like that. I feel a tinge of regret at needing Arihiko to remind me. For the past 2 or 3 days, I'd been debating whether or not to return to the Tohno household, so I completely lost touch with the news. What was that again? They've given it some really nasty name like the freakish serial killers or killings or something. Yeah, that's not very creative, is it? There's more to it. So far, all the victims have been young girls. The 8th victim was only 2 days ago. And to top it all off, they were all... Wait, what happened to them again? Arihiko tilts his head in contemplation. I'm an idiot for asking him. Yeah, I remember now. All the victims were cut up into pieces and arranged in a pattern or something. No, Inui-kun, everyone who was killed lost a lot of blood. Oh, yeah, that was it. They said it was some kind of modern-day vampire or something. Huh, you sure know a lot about this, Yumizuka-san. Not really, it's happening in town, so it's in the news. You'd remember it even if you didn't want to. I see. I thought it was happening in a neighboring town, but I guess it moved down here. Well, anyway, that's what happened. Even I wouldn't be going on the streets at night with a killer walking around. That's why I've been waking up at 7 lately. What, that's it? Having a good reason doesn't make it a good story. Where's the fun in that? Man, you're cold. What, did you collapse from anemia already this morning? I'm alright, thanks for asking. If I was anemic 24 hours a day, I'd be dead by now. Yeah, you're right. If you say you're okay, then I guess you're okay. And the bell rings, interrupting our conversation. Hey, class is about to begin. Hurry up and get back to your seat. With a yeah, Arihiko goes back to his seat. See you later, Tohno-kun. Yeah, sorry for keeping you, Yumizuka-san. Her light footsteps tap across the floor. She returns to her desk. Second period is over. Our homeroom teacher, who's also our math teacher, calls out to me as he leaves. Tohno, your documents are missing some details. Please go visit the office. It shouldn't take long, so I'll head to the office before the third period starts. The office is on the first floor. The second-year classroom is on the third floor, but I could make it back before third period starts if I run. I'm actually pretty happy that this route, there's new stuff like right from day one. Like the other ones, it felt like it was following kind of the same, like the Ciel route followed pretty much the same story as the Arcuate route for a while. And run. The impact floors me with a thud. My head hits something, and the world swims before my eyes. Ow, wow, 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 wow. I hear a voice nearby. It's a woman's voice I've never heard before. It looks like I ran into someone. I'm sorry, are you alright? I still can't see my surroundings too well, but I apologize to the person I hit. Yes, I'm alright. How about you? Are you okay? There's no trace of accusation in that gentle voice. I don't know who she is, but it seems like she's worried about me. Yeah, I'm also okay. I shake my head and stand up. Finally, I can see clearly. Hey, are you really all right? Your forehead's swelling up. Eh? I feel a prickle of pain when I try to touch it with my hand. Just like she said, I'm developing a magnificent lump. So this is different before we met her, I think when she was doing the, that work outside, where she was hammering stuff. I'm so sorry. I was not paying attention to where I was going. Your forehead must really hurt, right? The female student gazes apologetically at my face. From the formal way she spoke, I assumed she was first year, but from the color of her ribbon, I can see she's a third year. In other words, my senpai. No, it's fine, really. I'm the one at fault. I'm sorry for bumping into you, senpai. I lower my head in a bow. Oh, come to think of it, you're right. You shouldn't be running down the hallways, you know? There are people like me spaced out while looking down at the courtyard. Yes, I'll be more careful. Are you alright, senpai? I only fell. It's because you ran into the wall while trying to avoid hitting me, Tohno-kun. Oh shit, it'd be like, wait, how do you know my name? Really? No wonder I'm seeing stars. I'm lucky to get off with just a bump after running into a wall at that speed. Sorry about that, but spacing out in the hallway is also dangerous, senpai. I'll be more careful. Senpai smiles and nods. It's an honest smile. Excuse me, I'd best be going. Beating the dust off my pants, I begin walking towards the office. But the older student continues to watch me through her glasses. So now we know why. We know why she's keeping an eye on me, and why she knows my name. Wait, just who is she? I was distracted because I ran into her, but come to think of it, she's beautiful. If she's this beautiful, the male students would be talking about a third-year beauty wearing glasses. I'm going now. You should go back to your classroom too, senpai. If you're in any pain, please come to my classroom. I'm Tohno from second year at third class. He totally missed the fact that she already said his name. I'll take responsibility. She nods. Even though she's older than me, it's like dealing with someone younger. Alright, if anything happens, I'll come to your classroom at lunchtime. Oh, she is just straight up being like, I know who you are. First I called you by your one name, now I'm calling you by your other name. Remember, Shiki-kun, you mustn't run in the hallways. It's like she's trying to tell him, like, dude, I'm making it pretty obvious I know your name. Okay, but you shouldn't space out in hallways either, senpai. With that, I wave my hand and leave. Wait, Shiki-kun? I haven't told her my first name. Come to think of it, did she use my name earlier too? Huh? Have I met you before, senpai? Eh? Senpai cries out in surprise and mischievously puts on a depressed face. You're terrible, Tohno-kun. You've forgotten about me? Forgotten? No, I didn't think so. If I ever got myself involved with a beautiful woman like her, there'd be no way I'd forget. She looks up at me reproachfully. Those eyes, I'm sure I remember from somewhere, don't I? Come to think of it, we exchanged greetings once or twice before, didn't we? Ciel-senpai, right? I say her name apprehensively. Yes, I'm glad you remember. You seem the type to space out and forget, Tohno-kun. I don't think I space out, but there's nothing I can do about the fact I forgot. Well then, goodbye. Let's meet again at lunchtime. Ciel-senpai bows again. I watch her walk down the hallway. It's lunchtime. Now, where should I eat lunch? Okay, so we are going to eat lunch in class. It's lunchtime and the classroom starts to liven up. Some guys are dashing off towards the cafeteria. A group of girls are rearranging desks to form a table, and some students are calmly leaving the classroom, boxed lunches in hand. I wonder if, like, because some of the girls are staying here, if we're going to talk to I've already forgotten her damn name. Yukuzawa or something? I watched them while I set down the milk and bread I bought. Sheesh, not much of an appetite as usual, huh, Tohno? This guy in front of me being here is already a part of my daily routine, and I'm not about to start complaining now. Man, what's up with us, just the two of us eating lunch together? What kind of meal goes unaccompanied by a beautiful blossom? If you don't have any blossoms, why don't you join the group over there? I'm not going to stop you. Idiot, when I say blossom, I mean a single beautiful blossom. Those girls making a group aren't good. They're poisonous rather than being beautiful. Arihiko's comment would have probably earned him some rocks thrown in his direction if the group of girls had heard him. Luckily, the girls in our class didn't hear his poisonous words. It's pretty harsh, Arihiko. I know you were a bad guy before, but haven't you been getting worse lately? You're surpassing merely bad and getting into deviant. I can't help it, can I? When there's a truly beautiful blossom at our school, my discerning eye grows more critical. So, who is this beautiful blossom? Well, he said to Ciel to come by at lunch, so we know that he has a crush on her. That's a secret. I don't want more competition now, do I? Arihiko laughs with an ambitious smile spilling over his face. As it's something I don't have, I'm a little impressed by his ability to express himself so frankly. And then, the person I just met comes in from the classroom door. Ah, with a boxed lunch in one hand, there's no way I could mistake her. Hello, Tohno-kun. Mind if I interrupt? Oh, it's fine, of course. Smiling, Ciel-senpai brings over a chair and sits down naturally. Senpai, are you hurt? No, I'm not hurt at all. Even her smiling reply troubles me. You said to come here at lunchtime, so I thought it'd be rude if I did not. It's true I said that, but what I intended to say was she could come and I'd take responsibility if she ended up being hurt. Senpai, Arihiko slams the table with a bang as he stands up. Inui-kun, could it be you and Tohno-kun are acquainted? Yeah, we're more than casual acquaintances. Tohno and I have been friends since we were kids, right, Tohno? You could even say we were best friends. Arihiko makes a tight fist for emphasis. There's no room for agreement or disagreement. Oh, really? It's such a coincidence that the two of you are friends. It sure is. This bastard has such a calm face. I'm wondering just what he did to get along with Senpai. Or just when did he start to get along with Senpai? Arihiko glares at me while laughing towards Senpai. Absent-mindedly, I wonder if that's what you'd call being well-rounded. In the end, Arihiko forcibly convinces Senpai to stay for lunch. Well, since she brought her lunch, perhaps that's what she had in mind in the first place. Oh, Inui-kun, do you live by yourself? Nah, I live with my sister. Our parents left us in charge of the house, so we naturally learned how to cook, that's all. Arihiko seems familiar with Senpai. He's able to talk to her more casually than I can. I've only met her a few times. By the way, Senpai, you said you were called here by Tohno. Did something happen? Yes, I ran into Tohno-kun during the break. I wasn't hurt, but Tohno-kun hit his head. And you came to see him because you became worried? That's about right. Senpai's voice is brisk and pleasant to listen to. Since listening is more interesting than talking, I keep silent. That's when Arihiko directs the conversation towards me. What's wrong, Tohno? Running into someone? Don't tell me your anemia was acting up again. Arihiko's voice betrays his deep concern about my health. No, it's not that. I was running to the office to deal with some details for me moving. That's when I ran into Senpai. Really? Well, I guess your carelessness was at fault. Arihiko folds his arms and nods in agreement to himself. Tohno-kun, are you changing schools? Senpai suddenly outbursts, almost hysterically. Really? Why does she think I'm changing schools just because of that? I'm not changing schools, Senpai. I'm just changing my place of residence. So I filed the paperwork for a change of address. So that means you're going to be living alone? No, I'm just going back to my real home. It's that fancy place on top of the hill. I still can't quite believe it yet. Oh, could that possibly be the Tohno-san mansion? Senpai asks with some hesitation. A Western-style house on top of the hill is probably seen as something special to the residents of the town. I haven't been there for 8 years, but even in my memories, the Tohno mansion was ridiculously large. Yeah, that's right. I don't think it's the right place for me either, but it's too late now that I'm done moving. You don't seem too happy about it. It's not a particularly good or bad thing. I don't really understand it myself. Well, even if it is your house, it's been 8 years, right? I can understand if you're feeling restless. It'll probably feel like someone else's house for a while. I wonder if that's so. I haven't gone back yet, so I don't know. Well, I'm a bit relaxed, since I've always got refuge at your place. Huh, listen, I'm not impressed with how you've come to stay at my house every time something bad happens. I like your personality trait of not standing out, but I've hated how you're always too reserved for a long time now. Arihiko strikes the table with a bang again. Well, everything Arihiko said is true, so there's no way to fight back. Inui-kun, does Tono-kun really stay at your house that often? Yeah, he does. That damn Tono is too reserved towards his parents. He would come to my place every long vacation. He's reserved towards them because they're taking care of him. That's why he comes over to my place where we conveniently have an empty room. Since he looks pretty decent, my sister took a liking to him, and he shamelessly comes to stay with us without paying a cent. Arihiko's fist trembles as if to say, unforgivable. Taking care of Tono-kun? Ah, Arihiko clamps a hand over his mouth. Sorry, I should have thought before I spoke. It's okay, you didn't say anything wrong. I continue to eat my bread without looking at Arihiko. Really? Yeah, you're right. If you complain about that, you'll be in for some punishment. Arihiko nods to himself in agreement. His overwhelming optimism is something I'm truly envious of. Tono-kun, did you not get along with your previous family? No, that's not it. This guy had no problem with the Arimas. Oh, the Arimas were the family who took care of him. They're really nice people, and from what I could see, they're a happy family. Even so, he refused to be their adopted child, and he escaped to my place every vacation. Sheesh, just what were you not satisfied with anyway? There's nothing I wasn't satisfied with. It's just I've received so much from them already. I didn't want to be a further burden on them. I turn away, and all of a sudden, I realize Yumizuka is close by. Yeah, what's up with her? Her eyes look like she wants to say something, but it seems like she can't bring herself to intrude. What's wrong, Yumizuka-san? I leave Arihiko and Senpai and call out to Yumizuka. I have something to talk to you about. Is now a good time? Sure, can we talk here? Yumizuka's eyes flicker towards Arihiko. It seems Yumizuka isn't good at dealing with Arihiko. Is it alright if we discuss this in a hallway? I don't mind. I'm leaving for a while, Arihiko. Waving to Arihiko and Senpai, I exit with Yumizuka into the hallway. So, what'd you want to ask me? I'm sorry if I'm wrong about this, but have you been walking around at night in the business district lately? Huh? Business district? I rarely go there even in daytime, let alone at night. Her question's so entirely off that I become interested instead. Huh, at night you say? Around what time? From what I've heard, past midnight. Midnight? Then that rules it out completely. I occasionally go out to the business district at night to buy something, but I've never been out in the city that late before. It's definitely not me. My household is old-fashioned, so they've got a curfew at 7. You can't get in after that even if you cry. Since I don't want to have to camp outside, I try to my death to get home before 7. I'm upfront in denying Yumizuka's question. She smiles happily. Yeah, I know. The Arima family is also the head of a style of tea ceremony. That's right. It must be really strict for you, Tono-kun. Not so much strict as they like to tease me. Eh? Huh, yeah, right? Why does she know so much about the Arimas? Yumizuka-san, you seem to know quite a bit. Are you a student of it? No, I don't really know that much about tea ceremony. I have a friend who goes there. She told me it was really strict. Okay, wait, a friend? Who else went to the Arimas? She's got to be a friend of... But she must know, right? She must know that... If she's friends with Akiha, she must know that I'm her brother. But Yumizuka-san, how'd you know I lived with the Arimas? I haven't even told anyone here at our high school. You forgot we went to the same middle school together, haven't you? Yumizuka giggles as she speaks. Eh? We went to the same middle school? I can't remember, so I can't say anything, but if that's true, then it wouldn't be odd if she knew I was entrusted to the Arimas. Yumizuka-san, maybe, It's okay, as long as it's not you, Tono-kun. I'm sorry for interrupting your lunch. Interrupting my words, Yumizuka Satsuki goes back to the classroom after saying this. Yo, is your conversation over? Yeah, seems like she got the wrong person. Hey, Arihiko? Yeah, Yumizuka went to our middle school. To say more, she was our classmate during our 2nd and 3rd year, and now in the 2nd year of high school, making for 3 years in total. Huh. As if he knew my question, he answers. How did you know that was what I was going to ask? Because of that look on your face. But damn, I thought you were just ignoring her, but you actually didn't even notice her. She's really persistent, or maybe she's just eccentric. She had to suffer a lot. Arahiko makes a difficult face and shrugs. Ah, I knew it. She is Tono-kun's girlfriend, right? What are you saying, senpai? There's no way that could be. I've never even had a proper conversation with her. No, there's no use hiding it. You two look like you get along very well. I'm a little jealous. What's making her so happy? Senpai looks at me with an excited expression. Senpai? Arahiko? You say something to this confused person here too? About what? I don't know what you and Yumizuka are up to. All I know is you two were having a merry conversation this morning. Ha! A secret meeting at school in the morning? How bold of you, Tono-kun. Senpai's getting more and more worked up in an incomprehensible way. Well, whatever. After all, it doesn't matter to me if Senpai misunderstands. But you mustn't be so blunt to her, Tono-kun. Yumizuka-san looks kind of sad, doesn't she? You got to give her more of your attention. Senpai, lunch is going to end soon. Yes, see you later, Tono-kun. Inui-kun? Smiling, Senpai leaves our classroom. I feel a little exhausted. Tono, don't go after Yumizuka. Arahiko mumbles this with a stern face. Don't go after? Why? Listen, about Yumizuka? Despite her appearance, she's really shy and single-minded. She's not compatible at all with someone absent-minded like you. That kind of girl is dangerous to get really involved with. Arahiko goes back to his own seat. What is he talking about? It's not like I'm thinking of doing something with Yumizuka-san. I mutter to no one in particular and sit down in my own seat. Okay, so the next one we want to do is get a hold of myself and head back to the mansion. I don't have anything to do, so I hurry up and leave school. Come to think of it, I hadn't left the school by the main entrance since the entrance ceremony. I guess this will be the way to and from school from now on, since I live in the mansion. Leaving from the main gate, I come to the intersection that leads to the residential district. This is the point at which the paths to the city and the residential district, where the mansion is, part. Oh, Tono-kun! Suddenly, I ran into Yumizuka. Hello, Yumizuka-san. It may have been because of Ciel-senpai's teasing, but I feel a little embarrassed. Yumizuka-san looks at me, bewildered. Yumizuka-san? Is there something on my face? Oh, I was wondering what you were doing here, Tono-kun. Isn't your house the other direction? Well, it was until yesterday, but I'm living somewhere else starting today. This girl's totally stalking me, man. Arahiko said she was single-minded. Maybe she's obsessed. From now on, I'll be living at the place on top of the hill at the end of the residential district. Ah, so that's what you were talking about this morning. Yumizuka clasps her fist and an open palm together in understanding. Well, all flattery aside, that gesture seems incredibly cute. That's right. I guess there's no point hiding it from you, since you already know. I'm leaving my guardians, the Arimas, and going back to my real house today. Your real house? You mean the Tono-san mansion? Yeah, I don't think it really suits me either. I see. You're really a prince on top of a hill after all. It was a secret only Inui and I knew, but now I guess everyone's going to find out. With a faint smile, Yumizuka casts her gaze into the distance. She looks out at the horizon, as if looking at the Tono mansion off in the distance on top of the hill. But will you be alright? Even if it is your house, you've been away for 8 years, right? Aren't you afraid or worried? Yeah, I'm actually kind of uneasy. I never liked that mansion to begin with, and now it's going to feel like someone else's house too. But still, I can't lead a carefree life on my own and leave my sister Akiha there by herself. No matter how uneasy I am, I have to return to the mansion. In the end, it's still my home. I think it's only natural for me to go back. I see. Oh, sorry for stopping you, Tono-kun. You must be in a hurry, right? No, not really. I was just having a stroll on the way home. Ah, I see. For some reason, Yumizuka looks downcast and falls silent. What's wrong, Yumizuka-san? Are you feeling sick? I break the silence, but she continues to stare downwards without raising her head. I can't just leave her there, so I continue to stand there looking at her. And then... yeah, what is it? I'm going home along the same way as you until we reach the hill. Really? Then let's go together for part of the way. Eh? Yumizuka's eyes widen, and she stands there stiffly for a moment. Yeah, you're right. We're going back the same way, so it wouldn't be strange for us to go together for part of the way, right? She says this with an excessively cheerful voice and stands right beside me. Just at the right time, too. I'm not too familiar with the streets around here, so would you mind guiding me? Sure. Well, let's go down this street. It's a back street that leads all the way to the street on the hill. Funny how, like, we never encountered each other walking back. It almost feels like she's lying just to be able to walk with me. I walk home while chatting with Yumizuka. Talking to her isn't anything particularly special, but it is enjoyable in a peaceful kind of way. Despite what Arahiko said, Yumizuka Satsuki has a gentle air about her, and I feel safe being around her. While we're talking, Yumizuka suddenly laughs as if she's remembered something. What is it all of a sudden? Did I say something funny? No, that's not it. It's just starting tomorrow I'll be taking the same route to school as you. She laughs, looking truly happy. That honest, smiling face is enough to make me happy as I watch her. I didn't realize it until now. Even putting her looks and mannerisms aside, Yumizuka Satsuki is kind of cute. I'm slowly beginning to understand why the boys in our class have been so worked up over her for so long now. Our conversation ceases. I'm simply fascinated by Yumizuka's smile, and the two of us fall silent. Without saying anything, we walk towards the residential district in the sunset. Suddenly, "Hey, do you remember what happened during the winter vacation of our second year of middle school?" Yumizuka murmurs. I tilt my head to one side. The winter vacation of the second year of middle school was when I'd applied to stay for extra lessons at school, because I felt bad about staying at the Arimas. I remember it well enough, but I still don't understand why she asked me about it. Just as I thought, someone like Tohno-kun would never have remembered. Disappointed, Yumizuka's shoulders droop. There were 2 sports sheds at our middle school, remember? One was a new shed used by the big clubs, and the other one was an old one used by the smaller clubs like badminton. The old shed had a certain problem where the alignment of the door was bad, so there were often times where it wouldn't open. Old shed, that little concrete building at the back of the gymnasium. Oh, that shed, the one which they stopped using after some students got trapped inside. Yeah, that's the one. The students were second years from the badminton club. Oh, yeah, something like that did happen. It was early in the new year, on a cold winter's day. The first 3 years of the new year had passed, or first days of the new year had passed. I'd applied for extra lessons and requested to stay behind at school and help out because I felt bad about staying at the Arimas. But even that was only until 5 in the evening. It had become dark, and I was forced out of the classrooms as all the teachers were going home. The middle of winter, even if it was only 5, the surroundings had really darkened. The weather report had predicted snow for that day, and the cold was extra harsh. Oh, did he maybe save her? Was she trapped, like, in there, and maybe he saved her, and maybe she's, like, had a little bit of a flame for him ever since, or something like that? So, just when I decided to head straight home for the day, I heard a banging sound from the old shed, and I went to check things out. This is giving me, like, Shiro and, Sakura vibes a little bit, like, something from when they were younger, and having kind of like an affection for someone from far away but not really saying anything. Is anyone in there? I asked, and I heard the voices of several female students in reply from inside the shed. They'd been trapped in there for 2 hours. While packing up the club equipment, they'd closed the door because of the cold, and now it wouldn't open again. They couldn't open the door no matter what, and wanted me to call out one of the teachers for help. But the teachers had all gone home. Even if I were to call them now on the phone, it'd take at least another hour. Cold on that day was truly terrible, and that kind of cold that should have prompted snow. I thought it would be cruel to leave those girls stuck in the shed wearing only their PE uniforms for another hour. After some hesitation, and confirming that no one else was around, I took off my glasses and cut the line on the shed door. I'm such an idiot. I was like, he has anemia. How in the world is he going to be able to open this door? I totally forgot he had those powers. Derp. The door opened, and about 5 female students, eyes red from crying, poured out. Come to think of it, there was something like that, but I'm surprised you know about it. The captain of the trapped badminton club told me this has to do with the club's survival, so don't tell anyone. It was almost like she was threatening me. Tohno-kun, you had no interest in knowing who was trapped inside there, did you? Listen, I was one of those badminton club members. Yumizuka sounds like she's pouting. So in other words, that's why she's sad that, like, I don't remember her. I still remember it well. When I think about it, it was only being trapped inside a shed, but at the time, it was cold and dark. And I was really worried. Everyone thought we were going to freeze to death like that. My stomach was growling from hunger, too. I was just about to collapse. That must have been rough. I can't really empathize with her, so I give a half-hearted response. Unconcerned, Yumizuka continues her recollections, bringing up old events anew. And just when everyone was trembling, you came along and asked, "Is anyone in there?" in your usual unexcited voice. And then the captain got angry and shouted, "Can't you tell just by looking?" Do you remember? Yeah, I remember. There was a loud bang when she threw a bat at the door. I was really surprised. That's right, Yumizuka says, laughing. But when we heard all the teachers had gone home, we'd really lost all hope. We couldn't stand being there for even a minute longer, yet we had to face the prospect of being trapped until the next day. Just when we were thinking about how miserable the world was, you knocked on the door and said, "I might be able to open the door if you can keep it a secret." Yeah, and then I heard another bang and someone said, "If it opened that easily, we wouldn't be suffering in here." She was really angry. Yeah, the captain felt responsible for us getting trapped, so she didn't have much patience to spare. But soon after that, the door opened. Everyone was so happy that the captain's knocking with the bat must have worked and ran outside. But I was watching you aimlessly stand by the door. Yumizuka looked at me warmly. But that only troubles me. To me, it meant nothing, so I can't really appreciate her gratitude. I was crying really hard at the time. My eyes just felt like they were swelling up, and they looked terrible. What do you think you said when you saw me like that? I don't know. What did I say? I really don't remember, so I ask, as if it was something else someone else had done. Despite this, Yumizuka still looks at me happily. You put your hand on my head and said, "Hurry up and go home, and eat some ozoni." I was a little embarrassed because I was trembling so much from the cold. I knit my brows. I don't know what I meant back then. I think you meant for me to warm up my body by having some ozoni. I see. It was right after New Year's, after all. It does sound like the stupid kind of thing I would say. Now that it's put to me like this, I regret not having picked something better to say. Back then, I thought, there are plenty of reliable people at school, but if I ever need to be saved, it will be someone like Tohno-kun who saves— Oh, shit. Okay. I'm guessing that this is a precursor to either I'm gonna have to try and save her from being killed by the vampire, because I'm totally guessing that's what happens. So maybe we can actually save her this time, or maybe I can't save her. Oh, or maybe the choices I make will determine whether I can save her or not. This is supposed to be the Akiha route, but this is feeling like it's going to be the, like, this girl's route. Like, they're really putting a lot of emphasis on her. I think this is going to be a thing where, like, I have to try and save this girl from being killed. You're exaggerating. Look, it's like how a baby chick thinks the first human it meets is its mother. I just happened to help you. It's not true. Ever since then, I really believed you'd come and help me no matter what the problem was. Her expression is quite resolute. You're giving me too much credit, Yumizuka-san. I'm not that reliable of a person. It's alright. That's what I believe, so let me keep believing it. She pronounces this while staring straight at me, and I'm too embarrassed to offer a rebuttal. Well, I guess you can believe what you want. Isn't that right? So if I'm ever in a pinch, you'll come and help me, right? Oh yeah, this is totally gonna be me trying to help her. Hopefully being able to save her from being killed by a vampire. Being killed by, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name? By Roa. Yumizuka asks me, smiling. To be honest, that would be kind of troubling, despite what she thinks. I'm not the sort of guy who can do everything. I'm not, but when she faces me with that smile, I don't want to destroy that faith she has in me. Yeah, if it's within my power, I'll help you. Yep, thank you, Tohno-kun. I know it's a bit late to say this, but I was really happy because of what you said to me back then. Saying that, Yumizuka suddenly stops. Naturally, I stopped too. I've always wanted to talk to you like this, Tohno-kun. Somewhere in her voice was a hint of wistfulness. Perhaps it's because of the red light from the sunset, but somehow, Yumizuka looks lonely. What do you mean? You can talk to me anytime. No, I can't. Inui-kun's always around you, and besides, I can't become someone like you, Tohno-kun. With that reserved answer, Yumizuka draws away from me. Well, my house is this way, so I'll see you at school tomorrow. Bye-bye. Smiling, Yumizuka waves her hand and begins walking down another street. Alright, so finally we're actually, you know, doing the Akiha. We're actually mentioning Akiha, considering this is supposed to be her route. Alright, so we're gonna skip. Okay, so now we're going to go to the sitting room and talk with Aki. I apologize for skipping these things because it might be good to get a refresh on, you know, coming to the house, talking to Akiha, but, you know, I want to just focus on the stuff I haven't seen yet. When I get to the sitting room, Akiha is relaxing there alone. There's no sign of Kohaku-san or Hisui. There are 2 teacups on the table, and Akiha is using one of them. Oh? Do you drink tea after meals too, Nissan? No, nothing like that. I just thought I'd come and talk to you. My expression tells her, I'll go away if I'm bothering you. Then please sit down. Is tea alright for you? Well, sure, I'll have anything that's nice. I actually prefer Japanese tea, but I'll keep that bit of selfishness to myself. Akiha takes the teapot and pours transparent red tea into another teacup. Thank you. I sit on the sofa and raise the teacup to my mouth. Before my eyes is the cool and collected Akiha, and it makes me a bit uneasy. I came to talk to her, but to be honest, I really don't know what to say now that she's in front of me. Nisa, you're very quiet. Didn't you come to talk to me? Akiha stares. The atmosphere is not so much that of a younger sister, but more like an unfamiliar young lady. It's not one in which I can speak freely. Well, I was just wondering, what have you been doing for the past 8 years? It goes without saying, with Nissan not around, Father's attention turns solely to me. Akiha glares in contempt, or complaint. It seems the last 8 years are a taboo subject. And what about you? What have you been doing for 8 years? I sent many letters, but didn't receive a single reply. I choke involuntarily. Certainly, Akiha sent many letters, but I never replied. I was a poor correspondent, but at the bottom of my heart, I wanted to sever all links with the Tohno mansion, and that made me reluctant to write to Akiha. Well, don't worry about the letters. Even if you had answered, I'm sure Father would never have allowed the replies into the house. More importantly, how do you feel returning to the mansion for the first time in 8 years? It has changed very little, though there was some restoration work done. In spite of Akiha's words, the mansion still feels completely unknown to me. 8 years ago, I was just a child. Even if I remember the mansion a little, I feel like I'm in someone else's house. It's very unsettling. Nissan? No, I was just lost in thought for a moment. You say this mansion's changed very little, but it's pretty unsettling for me. Though the sitting room and the lobby are kind of familiar, I can't really remember the corridor, nor my room. Really, I guess 8 years is a long time. I guess that's it. It's like half my life so far. I can't really expect to have clear memories. Well, it's been 8 years, so it doesn't feel right, but I think I'll get used to it. I'll be thankful if you overlook my poor manners for a while. Please don't be ridiculous. I can hardly look any more leniently upon Nissan's manners than I do already. Ugh. Ugh, that was close. I almost sprayed the tea I was drinking. At supper, Akiha's look sent me into a cold sweat after all I did was use the wrong knife. I see, you were being lenient back then. Yes, I'm making concessions appropriate to your abilities. Nissan's been brought up by the Arimas after all. As Aunt Keiko comes from a branch family, a certain amount of laissez-faire was permitted, and you were spoiled, Nissan. The result is the supper we had a while ago. Well, it can't be helped, can it? We never really thought I'd be returning here. Is that so? You almost sound like you didn't want to return, Nissan. Don't be stupid. It's not like that. I may have had my doubts, but I couldn't just leave you alone here, could I? What kind of brother would I be then? Yes, that's the reason I returned. If it weren't for Akiha, I would have never returned. Since I heard nothing from almost 8 years, I always wondered whether you were all right on your own. I came back to the mansion because I was worried about you. Looking a little off to the side, I put my honest feelings into words. Well then, But I guess I was just worrying over nothing. In the past 8 years, you seem to have grown strong. I'm relieved, but a little disappointed. No, a bit is saying too little. Since I only had the image of the calm Akiha back when she was small, the sharp Akiha right now seems like a different person. Really? I'm sorry I didn't meet your expectations. Akiha's eyes are scary. Crap, I think I may have said too much again. Well then, Nissan, how was life at the Arima residence? Akiha asks, still with a frightening expression. I feel like I'm under terrible pressure, even though I'm only talking to my younger sister. Nissan, did you hear what I said? I heard life at the Arimas, right? It was normal. There were no real problems. It seems it was more suited for me living there too. That's not what I meant. How is your health? I've heard you collapsed a lot from your chronic anemia. Oh, yeah, I did for about a year after I left the hospital, but I'm okay now. I only have problems occasionally, about once a month. I'm certainly not frail enough to be worried about. Bluffing, I strike my chest with its scar. Akiha nods in serious assent. But, Nissan, You've also started wearing glasses. After going to the hospital, did your eyesight fail also? I see. Akiha doesn't know I wear glasses. Or why I wear them. I can't just explain the lines along which things break, or that they don't appear when I wear these glasses. Well, it's nothing. My eyes became a little strange after the accident, but it's not like my eyesight's gone bad, so it's not really a serious problem. Really, I was surprised when I saw you a while ago. I didn't know you'd started wearing glasses, Nissan. Really? You seemed pretty calm back then. Of course, I was meeting you for the first time in 8 years. I couldn't let you see me acting strange. Why is that weird after 8 years that someone might just happen to wear glasses? I'm like, it's a little surprising if you haven't seen someone in a while, but I don't think it's something that's a big deal. Maybe she knows more than she's letting on. I can't remember. Like, how much does Akiha know about me? Akiha's brow creases suddenly. Like, she knows about, obviously, the past, about everything that happened to me when I was a kid. But how much more does she know? Akiha-sama, the bath is ready. What should I do? Really? Thank you, Kohaku. I'll go soon, so go ahead. Ah, is that alright? After all, you're relaxing with Shiki-sama. Shiki-sama might run away, but the bath won't. Please, relax a little longer. It's fine. We weren't talking about anything important. Akiha stands and walks past Kohaku-san into the lobby. Kohaku-san follows her. Left alone in the sitting room, I finish the tea. Akiha and Kohaku-san seem to be heading to the bath. So, I guess I'll go back to my room. Hang on. Akiha and Kohaku-san aren't going to take a bath together, are they? No, I bet they are. Then maybe Kohaku-san would be washing her back? Of course, with another girl, it's no problem, but... Well, you are free to imagine whatever you want, Nissan, but... Akiha returns with amazing timing. Don't force Hisui to do stupid things. Unlike Kohaku, she doesn't really get jokes. Akiha's looks accusingly as if she sees through my thoughts. I'm surprised. Maybe this mansion has listening devices. Wait, what are you doing back there? Weren't you taking a bath with Kohaku-san? I forgot to tell you something about the bath. Nissan, the large bathroom we used a long time ago isn't used anymore. It'd be too much for Hisui and Kohaku to take care of, so it's been closed up. Large bathroom? Was there such a place? I splutter a bit. Unable to remember, I make a doubtful face. Akiha's brows knit terribly. The bath in the courtyard. You don't even remember that? Well, now that she mentions it, I guess there was such a thing. But this is a European-style mansion. Isn't such a thing a little out of place? Father half liked the Japanese style of architecture. That is why the detached building is Japanese style as well. Anyway, if you want to have a bath, please use your own. The second bathroom behind the lobby is yours, Nissan. With that, Akiha leaves. Alright, with Akiha gone, there's no point in staying in the sitting room. I'll have a bath too, and return to my room. Ah, when I return to my room, my bed's been made. I guess Hisui did it when I was gone. I'm glad she did, but it's really more than I deserve. I scratch my cheek. Then, are you there, Shiki-sama? I can hear Hisui's voice along with a knock at the door. Yeah, I'm here. Come in. Excuse me. Good evening. Thanks for making my bed, Hisui. Hisui quietly nods in acceptance. Ugh. Just as I thought. I'm not used to this. Is there anything else you want to tell me? No, nothing from me, but Akiha-sama has instructed me to answer any questions you may have. I see. There are many things I want to ask, but I'll probably get to know them as I continue to live here. Yeah, what I want to know right now before I sleep is it true the curfew here is 7? Yes, the main gate is locked at 7, and all the entrances to the mansion are to be locked at 8. It is also a rule that one must try not to go walking around in the mansion after 10. Not even walking around the mansion? Well, I've got no complaint with that, but isn't that kind of harsh? Aki and I aren't children, so I don't think you have to go that far. Indeed, it is a rule, however, so please abide by it. You are aware of the recent disturbances at night, are you not, Shiki-sama? Yeah, the vampire thing Arihiko was talking about. Well, as long as something like that is happening, I guess it's better to be safe than sorry. What else? Oh, do you mind if I ask an off-topic question? Yes, what is it? I'd like to know what kind of work you and Kohaku-san do around here. I'm here to serve your needs, and my sister Kohaku is to serve the Lady Akiha-sama. In our spare time, we do the maintenance chores around the mansion. Is there anything more you'd like to know? To serve, so that's what it is after all. My shoulders suddenly feel heavier. It seemed completely natural to Akiha when she said it, but I'm nothing more than a normal high school student. I have no interest in having a girl close to my age serving me, at least for now. By serving me, you mean you're a personal servant? Yes, please do not hesitate to give me any instructions. Well, I get it. Going by how Akiha was talking about you, it doesn't seem like I can dismiss you, so I'll just obediently let you serve me. Is there anything in particular you would like? Nothing in particular, but could you stop calling me Shiki-sama? To be honest, I get chills down my back when I hear it. But Shiki-sama, you are my master. That's what I'm saying, I hate. I've been living a normal life up until yesterday. I have no desire to start living a life where a girl my age addresses me with Sama. I see. Hisui's response was less than enthusiastic. Just call me Shiki. In exchange, I'll call you Hisui. Let's do away with the formalities and be more casual with each other. Still expressionless, Hisui lowers her eyebrows as if she's being troubled. But you're my employer. It's not like I'm hiring you. You're the one doing the things I can't, so you're the great one. I see. Hisui gives another unenthusiastic reply. It looks like I won't be able to talk her into it just one day. Anywho, that's how it is. Don't be so formal towards me. I'll be grateful if you tell that to your sister Kohaku-san too. Very well. As you say, Shiki-sama. Expressionless, Hisui bows her head. She completely failed to understand. I will be leaving now. Please rest for tonight. Bowing, Hisui puts her hand on the doorknob. Oh, I forgot to ask something. Oh, hold on for a second. Running towards the door, I put my hand on her shoulder before she leaves. In an instant, Hisui's arm pushes away my arm with incredible momentum. With a whack, she slaps my hand and leaps back. They definitely have powers. I gotta believe that they've got some powers or something. Eh? It's so sudden. It's the only thing I can say. Hisui's expressionless, but she glares at me fiercely. Did I do something wrong? I'm very sorry. Hisui's voice sounds very nervous. I'm not used to being touched. Please forgive me. Hisui's shoulders are faintly trembling. I feel like I just did something really terrible. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize without thinking. I don't understand why myself. I just feel sorry for her, and I lower my head. Hisui says nothing. I get the feeling her stare is calm again. You have nothing to apologize for, Shiki-sama. I'm the one to blame. No, well, maybe, but I scratch my head. Hisui stares at me, pausing only to blink for a second. What was it you wanted to ask me, Shiki-sama? That's right. I stopped her because I wanted to ask her something. Oh, I wanted to ask about Akiha. Doesn't she go to a boarding school? That was only during middle school, Shiki-sama. From this year onwards, Akiha-sama has special permission to attend school from home. You mean she goes to school from here? Yes, but it is uncommon for her to come home before dusk like today. Akiha-sama has practice up until dinner, so she's always home before 7. Practice? Practice what? Today's Thursday, so she would have had violin practice. Eh? Usually, she's able to return before dinner on weekdays, so if you have anything to say to Akiha-sama, please let Nei-san know after dinner. Hisui bows to say goodbye and leaves the room. Violin practice? What on earth is that? She's not some upper-class lady or anything, so why should she have to do something as bothersome as... Oh, wait, she is an upper-class lady. Yes, come to think of it, my sister, Tohno Akiha, is a natural-born upper-class lady. In my memories, she was always the obedient, ever-uneasy sister, constantly following me around. As a child, she was always quiet, never having even the courage to express her own desires. She was a frail girl who'd always live in fear of a scolding from her father. Yeah, people really do change after 8 years. After 8 years, I've become the me I am now. Akiha has become the person she is now, too. 8 years is a long time. It's half of our lives up until now. I was absent from this mansion during that vital period where a child becomes an adult. I'm sorry, Akiha. I think things would have been better if I'd been with her during those 8 years. I unknowingly mumble an apology. Left by myself, I lie on my bed. This house from 8 years ago. My blood relative from 8 years ago. It feels a little like they belong to someone else. I wonder what's going to happen to me now. Grumbling to no one in particular, I fall asleep. Oh, I hear the wave-like sound of someone's voice. I I thought that was supposed to be the dog. Is this not the dog? Oh, something is howling. Okay, good. It's too sharp and high-pitched to be a stray dog. Oh, it echoes in my eardrums. Is it howling at the moon? Ow! This doesn't feel right. The beastly howling is beginning to give me a headache. Ow! It doesn't stop. Ow! 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 Oh, just shut up already. I wake up. I can hear the sound of a dog barking outside the window. The clock indicates it's just past 11. This is more than just a neighborhood nuisance. Damn, I can't sleep like this. The dog's howling comes from somewhere near the mansion's fence. It doesn't seem like I can go back to sleep at this rate. Alright, so we do want to go to sleep. The howling continues. There's no way I can sleep like this. I can't sleep, but it's just normal. I'm sleepy, so I'll pass. Pulling the sheets over me, I stretch out on the bed. I can just think of the howling as the sound of something mundane as cars driving by on the street. Today's been a very long day. I'm mentally tired from eating dinner in this unfamiliar mansion, and my conversations with Akiha and everyone else. After all that, the howling is just background noise. I close my eyes and gently fall asleep. I think I just heard something. Half awake, I look at the clock. It's just past 2. It's been about 2 hours since I heard the dogs howling. The dog's howling has already stopped. The mansion is so quiet, I can hear the clock ticking in silence. I hear it again. Inside the mansion? From the lobby? Could it be a burglar? It's not impossible. The mansion's contents are outrageously valuable. On top of that, with no one here now except Kohaku-san, Hisui, Akiha, and myself, very insecure. I'm guessing that's the reason also that they don't want me, like, going around the mansion at night. I bet Hisui and Kohaku, like, they have special powers or something, and they don't want me to spot them. Like, maybe they're patrolling, keeping an eye on things. Getting out of bed, I slip out of the room quietly. If it's a burglar, Akiha and everyone will be in danger, so I can't let this go. I'll just look down from the second floor into the lobby. It should be safe enough. There's nothing wrong there. No, someone is there. The figure that enters on the entrance and crosses. Oh! Does she sleepwalk? She looked a little out of it. The figure that enters from the entrance and crosses the lobby with wobbling, uncertain steps is Akiha. She's not going to her own room on the second floor, but to the first floor, the west wing. The only thing there are Kohaku-san's room and my old man's room. What is she doing at this time of night? I can murmur all I want, but I won't be getting any answers. After gazing at the lobby for a while, I decide to return to my room. Well, she probably had something to do, or went to see Kohaku-san. I feel bad about sneaking around and watching her, and I don't want to just ask her about everything she does. Sleep, sleep. There's school tomorrow. I bury myself in bed and close my eyes. As I fall asleep, my thoughts keep returning over and over to Akiha's hollow-eyed figure in the lobby, and how something seemed wrong. Back then, the whole mansion was like a giant playground. The garden, a deep forest, the house, a tall castle. We played in our own little world, which would take days to explore. Every day was fun. No one thought about ever growing up. We believed that days and nights would always be the same. It was just a childhood spent playing like puppies. We got along wonderfully, and we were the best of playmates. Whenever I turned back, Akiha would be there waving her hands and hiding shyly. Yes, always the same. Back then, the whole mansion was like a giant playground. The garden a deep forest, the house a tall castle. Wait, okay, it was just repeating itself. I'm like, oh no, did I do something wrong? Good morning. I hear an unfamiliar voice. The dream disappears, and all that remains is the feeling of my languid, waking body. It is morning. Time to wake up, Shiki-sama. An unfamiliar voice greets me. Stop calling me Shiki-sama already. I told you yesterday. It sends chills down my back. I wake up. Hisui stands far from the bed like a statue. Where am I? Good morning, Shiki-sama. A girl in a maid uniform bows. Oh, yeah, I came home. Right. I push myself up and look around the room. Good morning, Hisui. Thanks for coming to wake me. There's no need to thank me. It is my duty to come and wake you, Shiki-sama. Hisui answers indifferently, completely expressionless. Oh, really? Okay, then. Even in an unfavorable light, I think Hisui's features are beautiful. It should be wonderful for such a girl to wake me every morning, but as Hisui never smiles, I don't feel that happy about it. What a shame. If only she had half of Kohaku's brightness, she'd be really cute. Do you need something? Realizing I'm looking at her, Hisui stares straight back at me. No, nothing at all. Waking up with you there makes me feel like I'm really at the Tohno mansion. Now then, getting off the bed, I stretch out both arms. Shiki-sama, there is no time. From the mansion to your school is a 30-minute trip. This leaves only 20 minutes for breakfast. Eh? Ah, it's already 7 o'clock? I gasp in amazement after looking at the clock. My repeated awakenings last night must have messed up my sleep pattern. Your uniform is folded and awaits you over there. Please come to the sitting room after you've changed. Damn, if you're gonna wake me up earlier. Muttering selfishly to myself, I reach for the uniform. It's folded neatly, and the shirt has even been ironed. Passing my wrist through the sleeves feels good. It's that fresh, brand new feeling. Akiha and Kohaku-san are relaxing in the sitting room. Akiha is wearing the uniform of the Asagami Ladies' Academy, a famous school for young girls. They are drinking tea together gracefully, as if breakfast ended a long time ago. Alright, so we want to greet Akiha. Hey, good morning, Akiha. Good morning, Nisan. Good morning, Shiki-san. Breakfast is ready in the dining hall. Please, eat up. In contrast to Akiha, Kohaku-san greets me with a cheerful smile. Oh, thank you very much. It looks like you're having your after-meal tea. Have you already finished breakfast, Akiha? Of course. I don't care when you get up, Nisan, but please at least make time for breakfast. Having breakfast after 7 is a sign of sloppiness. I think having breakfast at 7 is pretty normal. What time do you get up, Akiha? I get up at 5 in the morning. What about it? Wow, I don't know why she gets up so early, but it was so perfect a time to get up that I have no room to retort. Besides, your school is 30 minutes from here on foot, isn't it? Please, don't be late to a school that's so close by. It'd be an embarrassment. Ugh. Akiha's words are filled with thorns that stab at me, but as it's the truth, there's no opening for a counter-argument. Akiha-sama, it's almost time to leave. Is this all right? I know. Sheesh, don't be so worried about stuff like this on the first day. Muttering some complaints, Akiha stands up. Well, I must say goodbye. Nisan, you should apply yourself to your studies today. Akiha leaves the sitting room. Kohaku-san follows, seeing her off. Apply myself to my studies? She's quite ceremonious about trivial things in an old-fashioned kind of way. I guess it's because she's been disciplined under her old man for the last 8 years. Well, I'd have gone to school even if she hadn't said anything. I scratched my cheek. There was something about Akiha's face as she left. Because of it, I paid no attention at all to her various admonishings this morning. Of course, I clapped my hands together. For some reason, Akiha's face just then seemed to resemble her face from long ago. After eating the breakfast Kohaku-san prepared, I exit into the lobby. Hisui was waiting there with my bag. Shiki-sama, have you had enough time? Or have you enough time? Yeah, should only be about 20 minutes to school if I run. It's only 7:30, so I should be fine even if I take the long way. Seeming satisfied with this answer, Hisui bows her head in assent. Then allow me to see you out. Eh? Yeah, thank you. I still feel terribly awkward having my own servant. Oh, Shiki-san, please wait just a moment. With pattering footsteps, Kohaku-san runs down from the second floor. Hisui steps back and falls silent as Kohaku-san approaches. Huh? Weren't you with Akiha? Lady Akiha goes to school by car. Since I had something to give you this morning, I stayed behind. Something to give me? Yes, this came from the Arima family yesterday. Kohaku-san smiles. Eh? But I have all my luggage already. The things I used while I was at the Arima's house all belong to them, so all I've got are my own clothes. Really? But this was sent here nonetheless. Kohaku-san hands me a thin wooden box, perhaps 20 centimeters long. It's not heavy at all. Kohaku-san, I've never seen this before. Well, apparently it was left to you by your departed father. It was to be given to you in the will. By my old man? I can't feel anything about that. What's the old man who expelled me from this mansion 8 years ago doing leaving me things? Oh well, Kohaku-san, please take it to my room for me. Kohaku-san staring intently at the wooden box. She seems almost like a child who wants a toy. Stare. No, she is a child. I get it. You want to know what's inside, right? Oh, not at all. I merely wondered for a moment. Like I said, you do wonder what's inside. Alright, let's open it. 1, 2, 3. With a dry sound, the wooden box opens. Inside, there is a 10-centimeter bar of thin iron. It's an iron bar. Undecorated and worn, it has finger marks all over it. The old man must have really hated me to leave me a piece of junk like this. No, Shiki-san, it's a fruit knife. Kohaku-san takes the iron bar out of the box. See? Isn't it one of those folding knives? 1, 2, 3. The sound of sliding metal, a 10-centimeter blade pops out from the bar. I see, it certainly is a knife. It's old, but it seems pretty solid. The year and era it was made in is written on the back. Kohaku-san replaces the blade and hands over the knife. Certainly, there is a number written on the grip, the character 7, and under it, the character Knight. Nei-san, there's no era by that name. It just says, Nanatsu Yoru. Ah! I turn around in surprise. Hisui's been silent till now, was looking at the knife over my shoulder. Okay, I'm sure... Okay, I did get the knife in one of the routes. But was that mentioned before about the whole thing about 7 and Knight? You surprised me. Hisui, you should say something. You don't have to look over my shoulder like that, you know. If you want to see it, I'll show it to you. Hisui's cheeks become faintly red. But please excuse me. The knife was so beautiful I could not help myself. Beautiful? You really think it's beautiful? It looks kind of beat up to me. Not at all. The tempering of the blade is masterful. I think it's a knife with its own... Okay, this girl definitely is into weapons, obviously. I bet she's probably a skilled, like, swordswoman or something, and she is gonna show that off in her route. Really? It looks to me like a piece of junk. But since Hisui seems so convinced, I begin to feel the same thing. In its own way, I guess it's not such a bad inheritance. 7 Knights? Maybe that's just the name of the fruit knife? Maybe, though I can't imagine him naming a knife like that. Whatever the case may be, it's obvious it's an antique. Well, in any case, I believe in taking what's given to me. I replace the blade and put the knife in my trouser pocket. Shiki-sama, have you enough time? I have to get going. Well, Kohaku-san, thank you for the delivery. Kohaku smiles and waves me off. I come out to the gates. Hisui follows in silence. Hisui, you're seeing me off? She nods wordlessly. Shiki-sama, what time shall we expect your return? It seems Hisui will continue to use sama to the bitter end. Well, if I take time to argue now, I'll be late for school. I'll complain about the honorific later. Shiki-sama? Yeah, probably around 4 o'clock, I think. I don't do any club activities. When I don't hang out with Arahiko, I usually get back pretty early in the evening. Hisui bows deeply at my random estimate. I understand. Please, take care on the way. I'm not sure what to take care about, but she's probably just worried about my health. Yeah, thanks. You too, Hisui. I return the goodwill with good intentions. With an energetic wave of the hand, I leave the gates of the mansion behind. I wonder if we're gonna run into our girl whose name I keep forgetting. I go down the hill. Since I've attended school from the Arima's house up until now, this is my first time taking this route. Not many from our school. Apparently, there are not many people from my school who live around here. 7:30 in the morning. I can't see anyone running along the streets in a school uniform except me. Slowly, I begin to see some people in school uniforms intermingled with the crowd. This is around where the road to school begins. Where is Yumizuka-san? Well, I'm not going to be lucky. I recall the smiling face of the classmate who departed here yesterday, saying, "My house is this way." As I think of Yumizuka Satsuki in the classroom, my pace quickens a little, and I hurry towards the classroom. I leave the residential area and reach the crossroads. The gates will be closed in about 10 minutes. I start to run across the asphalt. I made it. It seems like it took 20 minutes rather than 30 from the mansion. I'll need to leave around 7 if I want to go slowly, since I ran several times on the way. When I get to the classroom, I notice the air is buzzing. Although the classroom in the morning is always noisy, there's something different about the noise today. I walk to my desk by the window. Arahiko is waiting there sullenly. Arahiko, did something happen? I don't know. It's nothing big. There's a rumor that someone in class ran away from home. Oh, that's what all the fuss is about then. I sit down at my desk with a sigh. What do you mean nothing big? Who ran away? Who? How should I know? But we'll know when homeroom starts. Whoever's seat is vacant, they must be the one who ran away. Oh, it's gonna be her. It's gonna be Satsuki. Oh, that's true. It's true, but Arahiko's attitude seems a little dry. If one of our classmates really has run away from home, I think it's a bit much to just ignore it as if it's someone else's problem. Arihiko, aren't you being insensitive? One of our classmates ran away from home. Aren't you worried? Eh? You're the one who's seriously worried, dumbass. Everyone's talking about it because it's an interesting thing to talk about. It's not as if you or I had run away from home, so there's no need to worry, is there? Now I remember, this guy's cold like that to everyone except his friends. Though, I guess I am a bit worried. Running away from home at a time like this? They'd have to be really brave, or really... Time like this? What kind of time is that? I told you yesterday, Tohno. There's a serial killer going around on the streets right now. I don't know who ran away from home, but they'd have no excuse if they got attacked by him while living on the streets. Can't be. There's no way that happened. Tohno, you should watch TV more. There's been 8 victims already, and he doesn't discriminate. You'd better think again if you think you're... Didn't they say they basically just go after young girls? The town's empty at night nowadays. The only people who go out are drunkards and policemen, which is why it's so boring. Arihiko's voice is very serious. Hearing it, I begin to feel uneasy. Oh, Kunafuji's here. It's homeroom at last. Arihiko returns to his seat. After a while, everyone is seated. Only one seat is empty. There's no mistaking it. The desk of Yumizuka Satsuki is empty. Well, my house is this way. Bye-bye. See you at school tomorrow. Oh, man, did we already fail to save her? Is she dead already? That's crazy. Yumizuka said that. That's when you play these games, or like any game or any story, it feels like when a side character suddenly gets a lot of screen time and, you know, you learn about their backstory. They're probably gonna die. Yumizuka said that when we parted yesterday. I don't know what happened at home, but I can't see her making that smiling face before running away. Yumizuka's absent. Yumizuka Satsuki is merely treated as absent as attendance is taken. As if nothing is amiss, homeroom proceeds. Alright, obviously we want to ask about her. I know Yumizuka was smiling yesterday. I didn't think she could make such a face, saying bye-bye and then run away from home. Sensei? What is it, Tohno? A question? Yes, is it true a student in our class has run away from home? Instantly, the air in the classroom solidifies. He frowns, then with a difficult expression bows his head in assent. That's what we've heard from Yumizuka Satsuki's parents. Yumizuka didn't come home last night, but they've been searching. I'm sure they've already found her. Saying so, he departs. The classroom becomes noisy again. I have a bad feeling about this. It's really heavy. A terrible feeling, as if my body is tied down to the chair. I still feel down, even when lunchtime arrives. While the news of Yumizuka Satsuki running away from home was shocking, it seems it wasn't a topic that could last forever. The classroom's just like always, and it seems like I'm the only one troubled by our absent classmate. Tohno, let's go get lunch. That's okay, I don't really feel like it. I guess it can't be helped. Don't be troubled with other people's problems too much. Other people's problems, huh? Arihiko's words are too close to the truth. Huh? You're not with Inui-kun today. Senpai, what are you doing in our classroom? Well, I thought I'd have lunch with you guys. Tohno-kun, aren't you going to eat something? Senpai sits down on the desk, looking at me anxiously. Nah, I just don't seem to have an appetite today. Oh, are you not feeling well? Something like that. Don't worry about me. You go on to the dining hall. Arihiko's probably already there. Oh, you're not energetic at all. I don't know what happened, but if you don't eat lunch, you'll just feel even worse. That's true, but since I'm not hungry, there's not a lot I can do. Alright, I'll take you somewhere special. It's really a secret, but you're special, Tohno-kun. With that, she grabs my arm and pulls me out of the chair. Ciel-senpai takes me to an unused classroom in the very corner of the school building. Huh? This is a Japanese-style room, isn't it? That's right. It's very relaxing since no one else is here. Well, it's true, but isn't this place locked, senpai? Yes, it's usually only open to members of the tea ceremony club, so normal students can't get in. Saying so, she takes a key out of her pocket. Oh, are you in the tea ceremony club, senpai? Yes, well, actually, I'm the only member. With a laugh, senpai goes into the Japanese-style room. The inside of the room feels special, as if it isn't part of the school. The sensation of the tatami and the sunlight through the windows feels very relaxing. As I said earlier, I'm the only member of the tea club. Thanks to that, I can use this place freely during lunchtime and after class. Here. Laughing, senpai lays out cushions. I'll make some tea, so please wait right there, Tohno-kun. Senpai heads toward the sink to repair the tea. There's no point in standing up, so I do as I'm told and sit down on the cushion. Perhaps it was the magic of the Japanese-style room, the chaotic maelstrom that has been raging in my chest. It calms down, and now I can finally begin to think calmly about what has happened with Yumizuka. Thanks for waiting. Here you are. Now, let's have some lunch. Actually, I have some things to ask you, so it's just as well we're having lunch here. You have something to talk to me about? Puzzled, I drink the tea I'm offered. As I'm in the Japanese-style room, my posture reflexively straightened, and my mind has become tranquil. Although I have no connection to it, the Arima family heads a tea ceremony school. Perhaps it was because I've been raised in that kind of environment that I feel more at ease in a Japanese-style room than a Western-style one. Senpai looks at me with a troubled expression. What's wrong, Senpai? You look a bit worried. Eh? I was just a little surprised at how calm you were about all of this, Tono-kun. Really? Well, my family is a strict one, so I'm used to these kinds of things. More importantly, Senpai, didn't you have something you wanted to talk to me about? I do. The continuation of what we were talking about earlier. What we were talking about earlier? You mean about my family? Senpai nods to indicate a yes. If you don't mind, I'd like to hear more about it. I was curious about it since we stopped halfway. It's not that I mind, but hearing about my family isn't very interesting. It'd be a waste of time. I don't mind if it's not interesting. I just want to hear about it. You sure are eccentric, Senpai. Maybe I am, Senpai laughs. Alright then, let's continue from before. You said you moved to your home. What do you mean by that? Senpai asks, full of curiosity. Well, the conversation back then must have been pretty fragmented for Senpai, since she didn't know about any of the circumstances. Let's see, basically, I'm a guy who's been disinherited. I was seriously injured after getting caught up in a traffic accident when I was 9 years old. The injuries themselves somehow healed, but after that, I easily collapsed from anemia and threw up my food. That's why I was entrusted to my relatives, the Arimas, while I recuperated. Oh, so in other words, the Arimas have been your parents who raised you since you were 9, right? That's right. I knew my old man hated me for some reason. That once I'd been entrusted to the Arimas, I'd never go back home. Go back to the Tohno mansion, that is. That's why, well, I thought I'd just continue to live as a son of the Arimas forever. That's what I thought, but my old man kicked the bucket recently. That's when they told me to return to the mansion. Now that my old man's no longer there, I finally agreed. And that pretty much is my domestic situation. I end my story like that. Ciel-senpai gives a little nod silently. May I ask just one thing? Sure, if I can answer it. Go ahead. Alright, then I'll ask. Did you dislike your previous family? My previous family? The Arimas who'd raised me as my parents? My mother and father who weren't my real parents, and the unfamiliar building with without a doubt was home to strangers. But completely regardless of that. No, I liked them. They were people who didn't care I wasn't related to them by blood. They were so warm to me that I felt bad about being depressed all by myself. For them to love me no matter what, I didn't think it was a bad thing. I was loved by these people. That's why soon, even one day sooner, I have to truly become family to them. I've been telling myself those words since I was young. Since a very, very long time ago. Over and over I swore till I would practically pass out. Just like Arihiko said, I didn't have a single complaint about the Arima family. They treated me well, and I think I responded to their affection too. Between us, even though I knew we were just playing at being family, even if it was all an act, I didn't feel any pain. No, I was happy. In a way, I consider the Arima parents and me to be the ideal nuclear family. Or nuclear. I always say it's nuclear, isn't it? The Simpsons have messed me up. Nuclear. But it was no good, was it? Yeah, despite everything, there was a line I couldn't cross. This isn't your real family. No matter what I did, I couldn't get those words out of my head. I knew I should have been ignoring it, but I just couldn't do it. I don't know if you'd call it a childhood experience, but it had already become like a curse to me. Somehow, no matter where I was, I felt like a stranger to my family. Senpai silent. Avoiding my gaze, she huddles her shoulders apologetically. See, it was boring after all, right? And that's why I said it would be a waste of time. No, that's not true. It was a very meaningful story. Saying that, Senpai begins to eat her own lunch. I follow her example and start nibbling off the bread I'd bought. Thanks to my conversation with Senpai, my appetite has returned. Despite that, I still couldn't finish even half of it. So, Tono-kun, is anything troubling you right now? Eh? Why that all of a sudden? I don't have any worries in particular. Then I suppose the reason you aren't eating much must be because of your health. Senpai stares at me. Somehow, her gaze feels very penetrating. It feels difficult to remain silent under a gaze like that. I don't have any worries, but Senpai, what do you think of the recent killings? I can't help but ask. The stories about my classmate who hasn't returned home won't leave my mind. Killings? Oh, you mean that business about the vampires? Yes, there's been 8 victims, right? I haven't caught the news lately, so I'm not too sure about the subject. Do you know anything, Senpai? Well, I know as much as anyone else does, but no, not the details. It's just the word vampire sends chills down my spine. Oh, you mean how it seems the victims have had their blood drained? Strange, isn't it? I wonder what it can mean. Who knows? It's impossible to know how such people think. But I wonder why they've nicknamed him the vampire. What an odd question. Well, isn't it because the blood was drained from the bodies? It'd only be natural to call them vampires, wouldn't it? Do you know the folklore about vampires, Tono-kun? Suddenly breaking into a smile, Senpai asks an even stranger question. Vampire folklore? You mean how people who have their blood sucked by vampires become vampires themselves? Yes, if that were true, there shouldn't be any bodies left, right? Supposing some vampire was the killer, there'd be no bodies, Tono-kun. I see. It's true, but it's just a nickname, isn't it? Do you really believe in vampires, Senpai? Not at all. After all, the fact the bodies are there shows it's not a vampire, right? Smiling, Senpai gives a reply that seems slightly off the point. But couldn't you also think of it this way? Maybe the victims whose bodies have been found died because they couldn't become vampires. Perhaps there are those who could be turned and those who can't. The people who can become vampires won't have their corpses found even if they were attacked by vampires, because even now they're still alive, out there somewhere. But those who can't become vampires just die, so their bodies wind up being found. Well, that's... Senpai's still smiling. I know it's a joke, but I'm having difficulty laughing it off. Oh, I'm just joking. It'd be like some kind of horror story if that were really true. I don't like scary stories, so please don't ask me things like that. What? It looked to me like you were really getting into it, Senpai. I don't like scary stories, but I do like scaring you, Tono-kun. Did I do something to make her bear a grudge against me? But all jokes aside, Tono-kun, lately the streets have become dangerous at night. You mustn't go out, even though you are an energetic young man. Senpai gives a warning that sounds like a joke. I can't tell how serious she is. Lunch break ends, and 5th period starts. The lesson on classics goes in one ear and out the other. Well, my house is this way. Bye-bye. See you at school tomorrow. It's what Yumizuka said. She wouldn't say that and then run away from home. I have a bad feeling about this. The killer who wanders the town at night. It's dangerous to go out at night, the word Senpai said. Perhaps it was because of the red imagery surrounding us when we parted. Suddenly, a vision of Yumizuka Satsuki soaked in red blood appears before my eyes. It happens suddenly. My vision goes white, and my sense of balance reels. My field of vision lurches. Something lurks in the back of my head, and my consciousness feels heavy. This is bad. I know this feeling, sudden dizziness prior to an anemic attack. The blood accumulated in the brain's blood vessels become a black lump, making my head sway. My vision will go pitch black. It feels as if the blackness is pushing its way out of my brain into my eyeballs. This is bad. I haven't been collapsing during class lately. Red. Is it because Yumizuka's blood-red image is too fresh in my mind? My vision distorts. As darkness envelops it, I somehow grab onto my desk. But it's useless. There's no strength in my fingers. I fall towards the floor. As I do, I remember her words. Tono-kun, help me when I'm in a pinch, okay? I told you that's impossible. Whatever you may think of me, I'm not Superman. Sorry for dragging you along with me, Arihiko. Yeah, I'm used to you collapsing without warning like that. Honestly, sleeping in the infirmary up till the very last minute? Just who do you think you are? You should have woken me up. There's nothing conscientious about letting me sleep until they lock us in the building. Shut up. You think I'm gonna wake up a sick person? You just collapse again. Come on, we need to get back. It's already 7, you know? Arihiko walks down the corridor. After that, I collapsed from anemia and was left to sleep in the infirmary. Time passed until school lockup time at 6:30 when I was awoken by Arihiko's punch. And so we came to be walking along this deserted corridor. Hey, come on, Tono. What are you doing? Sorry, I'm coming. I shake my still woozy head and follow Arihiko. Alright, you can go home by yourself from here. See you at school tomorrow. Thanks. Sorry as always, Arihiko. Don't worry, pay me back in double in the future. Arihiko's answer isn't exactly in proper Japanese. Smiling wryly to myself, I decide to head back to my own house. I reach the intersection. It's still 7 in the evening, but there's no one around. I guess because of the killer, fewer people go out at night. The only figure I can see now is the back of a woman, far away. Oh, is this gonna be Arcuid? A blonde, yep. The distant woman seems to be a foreigner. Even from far away, I can see her golden hair rippling as she walks. It draws my eyes after her. Even though I only see her from behind, I can tell she's beautiful. You think every woman is beautiful. Thump. Suddenly, my heart pounds loudly. My throat becomes inexplicably dry and parched. I break out in a cold sweat. Ugh, my head aches. It's not like the anemia earlier. Rather than fading, my consciousness becomes sharper. I gasp. That's back. Watching the woman's golden hair, my head hurts terribly. My thoughts feel like they're melting into a haze. I will follow behind her, and then... What am I going to do after that? The woman disappears into a group of apartments in the shopping district. I have to follow. I don't know why, but I think that. My legs move on towards the apartments, but before that... Hey, okay, so she's there. Hopefully she's, still alive. Only for an instant, out of the corner of my eye, I see the figure of Yumizuka Satsuki. Yumizuka-san? Oh, so maybe I won't kill Arcuid this time. I got distracted. My head becomes clear. Yumizuka, it was only for an instant, but without a doubt, that was Yumizuka. Was she going towards town? What is she doing out at a time like this? I was so mad I didn't care if she disappeared or if she ran away from home. It's too dangerous for a girl to walk around town at night alone. Maybe this time I won't kill. So, if I don't kill Arcuid this time, how do we end up coming, like, into contact with each other? Because Arcuid would have no reason to go after me if I didn't kill her. Yumizuka walks through the crowded town. She's so far away, I'm not certain. But even if I've mistaken her, I decide to run after her and tell her to stop. Wait, Yumizuka-san, I shout, chasing after her. Yumizuka glances back as if she's heard my voice. That face, there's no confusing it. The girl walking ahead of me is unmistakably Yumizuka Satsuki, and the expression on her face wasn't frightening. But her eyes looked red. Were her eyes red before? Is she like basically one of the, what do they call them? Like for the vampires, when they turn them into vampires. Like a thrall or something? I felt a chill run through my spine. Thump. My heart beats quickly. The back of my head becomes heavy, my throat burns. An ache assaults my head, just as it did with the blonde woman earlier. What is this? It's weird. The inside of my body's burning. I feel dizzy, as if I'm in a grip of a terrible fever. In that moment, Yumizuka begins to walk again. Wait, Yumizuka-san, I call out, running. She walks on, not turning. Can you hear me, Yumizuka? I urge my hot body onwards, but no matter how much I try, I can't catch her. No matter how fast I run, I can't catch up to her, even as she walks. Something is strange. I know that, but I can't tell what it is. Right now, all I can do is follow Yumizuka Satsuki. And then I lose sight of her. Yumizuka Satsuki, who I have been chasing without success, is nowhere to be seen. Shit, what the hell's going on? I stop, catching my breath. My chest heaves deeply, though I hadn't realized until now. I must have been running for a long time. What time is it? Resting my hands on my knee, I glance up at a nearby store window. It's already midnight. It can't be. I couldn't have been running for that long. It's hard to believe, but the clock is correct. Looking around, most of the shopping district is closed. I should go back. Even though I'm worried about Yumizuka, I feel like I won't be able to find her anywhere. I chased her for almost 4 hours, calling her name all this time, but she did not even respond. What was she thinking? With a big sigh, I decide to head back to the mansion. There's no one around. The shopping district still had some people, but the way back to the mansion should be completely empty. The words serial killer run through my mind. Midnight. Walking through town alone. I might be an easy prey for such an attacker. A sound. Somewhere behind a building, there's a sound. I think it's the sound of someone falling? The back alley. The noise came only once, and eerie silence surrounds me. I have a bad feeling about this. Did someone collapse in the back alley? Did the wind just knock something over? Whatever it was, I probably shouldn't get involved. But is it because I was looking for Yumizuka a while ago? I feel like she's there for some reason. What should I do? There's no one around. The only help I can rely on is this knife Kohaku-san handed me this morning. Alright, now we finally get a choice. Like, that actually will lead to a bad end. We'll save. And we are going to choose the bad end, which is to not look. I can't do something that dangerous. If I went into an alley like that, no one could come to help me. There's something wrong with me wanting to go in there just because I heard a noise. It's getting late, and I should head back. I return to the mansion without meeting anyone. The lights around the mansion are all off. Somehow, I hadn't realized I'd be coming back so late. Akiha will surely be angry with me, I think, as I put my hand on the heavy doors. There's no one in the lobby. It's late after all. Akiha, Hisui, and Kohaku-san are most likely fast asleep in their rooms. I couldn't find you after all, Yumizuka-san, but I know she has to be somewhere. And for sure, she will come to school tomorrow. Oh, I wonder if, like, maybe the bad end is learning, like, oh, she actually died last night and they found her and I could have saved her. I returned to my room silently so as not to wake up Akiha and the others. It's getting late. To get ready for tomorrow, I have to hurry up and go to sleep. Oh wait, oh no, how long is this gonna take before I'm on day 3. So it might be a while before I get my bad end here. I feel as if someone is calling my name as I wake up. A little warmth returns to my body. I look around suspiciously, see an unfamiliar figure by my bed. Oh, Hisui. Yes, good morning, Shiki-sama. She bows. Right, yeah, morning, Hisui. I get up as I answer. This is my room, and just like yesterday, Hisui came to wake me up. Thanks, I'll change and head to the sitting room so you can go back to what you were doing. Yes, then I'll be waiting in the sitting room. She bows her head and walks to the door. Tap, tap, tap. Her footsteps are louder than normal. She reaches the door and then turns around. Shiki-sama, forgive me for asking such a question. What time did you return last night? Yesterday, if I recall correctly, I went out looking for Yumizuka-san and returned after not finding her. Sorry, something caught my attention and I came back late. I'll be prompt from now on, so it'd be great if you could overlook at this time. Spoiler alert, he will not be prompt, and every time after this, he's probably going to be coming back late like he did before. No, it is not necessary for you to say such a thing, Shiki-sama. It's the duty of us servants to work in accordance with the schedule of our masters. However, I humbly request you at least contact us. Whatever the circumstances, you should still be able to let us know. You're right. Sorry, I'll keep my promise from now on. I understand. Then please excuse me. That was rare. She seemed pretty angry. She's always so expressionless. It seems she really gets angry when she does not get angry. Or when she does get angry. That made no sense. As if I did something really terrible. Well, time to get up. After changing out of my pajamas and into my school uniform, I head to the sitting room. I find Akiha and Hisui there. Kohaku-san is probably in the kitchen cooking my breakfast. Good morning, Nissan. Sitting on the sofa, Akiha greets me and looks at my expression. Ah, morning. Sorry about last night. Returning her greeting, I head to the dining room. There really isn't much time for me to stay and chat with Akiha, and I myself don't really feel like talking to anyone at all. Nissan, I'd like to speak with you a bit. Is that alright? Speak with me? I don't really mind. I sit on the sofa across from Akiha. This is cutting straight to the heart of the matter, but what were you doing last night? Hisui said you returned late at night. Nissan, you know about our 8 o'clock curfew, correct? Akiha asks me with a direct stare. I'm sorry for breaking the curfew. A classmate of mine seemed to be having a lot of trouble, so I went looking for her. Well, all I did was walk around. I apologize for being late, but it isn't a big deal. Just walking the streets is something. You're still a minor, so please do not wander out late at night. Even if you weren't, there have been a lot of disturbances going on. Maybe I am a minor, but I don't do anything dangerous. I don't care for drinking or anything like that. You can just relax. I'm a guy after all. Walking around town at night isn't dangerous. What are you saying? Please, say those kinds of words. After you can go a week without anemia. I shouldn't have to say this, but you shouldn't strain your body. You might plan on walking around energetically, but you'll end up collapsing all of a sudden. What would you do then? Ah, that may be true, but Akiha seems to be worrying about me. When I think about it that way, I start to feel that maybe last night was a little selfish. Goodness, if you do that, what would others think? For the eldest son of the Tohno family to collapse late at night in town, the rumors would make me so embarrassed I couldn't even go to school. That may be true, but Akiha seems to be worrying about herself. I start to think it was stupid, or I was stupid for thinking last night was selfish. Anyway, please keep the curfew tonight. If you break it again, I will have to hand down a punishment on you as head of the household. Akiha whirls around quickly and exits the room. Punishment, Akiha? I think it was just a joke, but she certainly sounded serious. Shiki-san, breakfast! Kohaku-san's voice rings out from the dining room. I rise and head towards the dining room. Shiki-sama, around what time will you be returning today? Yeah, today's Saturday, so I'll be back early. I don't know what Akiha will do if I get back late either. Yeah, to be honest, it is a little scary. I understand. Well then, please be attentive and take care of yourself. She gives her customary bow. After she sees me off, I leave the mansion. As I arrive at my classroom, I look for Yumizuka-san. She isn't in the group of girls. She hasn't come yet? Or maybe... Yo, you looking for someone, Tohno-kun? The familiar face of my friend appears from the side like a crab. Yeah, I'm in the middle of looking, so don't get in my way, Arihiko. Oh really? If you're looking for Sachin, it's useless. Seems she'll skip school today, too. Arihiko giggles meaningfully. He seems to have seen right through me. What's this Sachin thing? Sachin is Sachin. Miss Yumizuka was taken in by the police last night. Oh, and is now under house arrest. Takata-kun told me while he was eating chocolate. Yumizuka-san returned home. Something seems a little out of place. Hey, if you don't believe me, ask Takata-kun. He seems to be one of Yumizuka's neighbors. I look around to my classmate nearby. As usual, Takata-kun is eating chocolate. He looks like he's doing his best impression of Santa Claus as he munches while walking. Quite the interesting person for a side character. No, I'll pass. Takata-kun isn't one to spread rumors, so it's most likely true. Yeah, a lot of girls have gone by to visit her, and Kunifuji went by this morning to her house. Well, it seems like Yumizuka will have a rough time for a while. Arihiko returns to his chair with a difficult expression. The homeroom bell rings. I'm still feeling a bit vague about it. I wait for Kunifuji-sensei's arrival. Our teacher, Kunifuji, didn't come. Classes started without homeroom, and the Saturday class ended quickly. My classmates exit the room hastily. Those with club activities go to the cafeteria, while those without any hurry on home to spend the rest of their Saturday elsewhere. Well then, there's no need to laze around here. I should go back to the mansion and think about what to do from there. I stand out of my chair, and then... Will second year, third class Tohno Shiki-kun please report to the staff room immediately, says the intercom announcement. What's this? I didn't do anything to be called up. Tilting my head out of question, I leave the classroom. Come to think of it, maybe it is natural. The school was bound to find out I was walking around late at night in my school uniform. My school is second-rate, but still oriented towards attending university, so there are a lot of troublesome rules. After being sternly warned by the Student Guidance Council, I end up writing an essay of apology. It's getting late, Kunifuji-sensei. I mutter to myself in the empty room. The teacher told me he'd come back after an hour. It's 6:30 already. It seems Akiha will scold me once more. Fine, I'll be heading back now. I announce this to the teacher who isn't here in an attempt to convince myself and stand up. Of course, the classroom is empty. I walk over to my desk to take the bag in my hand and exit to the hallway. Good evening, Tohno-kun. Suddenly, someone calls my name. I whirl around instantly. In the dark, unlit classroom. Yumizuka Satsuki sits with her back to the blue moonlight. Yumizuka-san? What a coincidence. You're still here, Tohno-kun. Don't tell me you were in the guidance counselor's room. Yeah, just a little unpleasantness there. I see. You know, I was called there about last night, too. In the very next room. She smiles as she says so, a gentle, carefree smile like before. So why is it, for no reason, a chill runs up my spine? I see, it was you next door. The schoolrooms are narrow, so you can somehow understand what's going on next door. Your live body warmth, or your breathing, it would have been nice for me to enjoy it longer. Our eyes meet, swaying, stretching, this instability as if the floor was bending. But it's great timing. I have a request for you, Tohno-kun. Is it alright? Sure, I'll do it if I can. Really? Then I'll ask. Tono-kun, can you go out with me? Well, that's it, sure. Do you have something you need to buy? I don't think there's too many good stores open right now, though. She looks at me blankly. Huh? It seems like I was a little off. Oh, that's not it, Tono-kun. I'm not asking you to take me out shopping. I'm asking you to go out with me like a lover. Yumizuka-san giggles happily. Eh? After such a sudden confession, my brain doesn't seem to work properly. Wait a second, Yumizuka-san, I'm happy, but to be told this all of a sudden, well, no problem, right? Yeah, there's no problem, I think. Really? Yay! Then I'll call you Shiki-kun from now on. I'm so glad. I was worried you might hate me for saying that. Yeah, maybe I didn't need to use the teacher to make sure you stayed late. He mumbles. I don't quite grasp what she said. Hey, Shiki-kun, I really used a lot of courage to tell you. Did you know how scared I was, Shiki-kun? She looks at me directly. Her eyes. Why do her eyes look... Okay, yeah. Her eyes were brown, but when she was talking to me, they were red. Why do her eyes look red? As if I was asphyxiated. My brain stops working. Yeah, you did well, Yumizuka-san. Yeah, so hey, maybe I should get a reward from you, Shiki-kun. I've been waiting so long. I want you to do it, Shiki-kun. Do what? Simple. I want you to kiss me. This isn't good. Somewhere in my mind, something screams at me in warning. So, I don't care about that. If Yumizuka-san wants it, what's wrong with it? We are lovers, so isn't it normal? Alright, don't move, Yumizuka-san. I walk towards her, the dry sounds of my footsteps. I walk in between the desks to draw closer to the girl by the window. As I do, I see the bodies of many female students collapsed in between the desks as if they were hidden. Blood flows from each of their necks, but still, I couldn't care less about them. Yumizuka-san doesn't move, grabbing both her arms. I press my lips to her, emotionlessly. Oh, with this, you are mine, Shiki-kun. The whisper sounds incredibly evil. Ugh! I collapse onto the floor. A splashing sound. I didn't notice it before, but the floor is splattered with blood. Under the desks lie the discarded corpses of my classmates strewn about. What? I try to stand up using my arms, but I fall back down again. There's no strength in my body. Heat. The heat suddenly turns cold. Relax, Shiki-kun. I won't make you like them. All you have to do is listen to my voice, just like this. Her cold voice. I don't understand at all what she's doing. Even though I don't understand anything, I know this is so wrong, it makes me nauseous. Gah! I strain my arms and legs as I crawl on the floor. But even that was stopped with her voice. No, you can't get away. I won't let you get away. Come on, first we have to expand my world. You'll help me, won't you? You broke your promise to help me whenever I was in a pinch, so you have to listen to whatever I say from now on. So before, I guess I had to help her. That's what happened. I'm guessing that was her. I left her behind and I fucked her over. She chuckles. My distant heartbeat, the fragrance of the blood drenching the floor makes me dizzy. So if I ever do wake up again, then I realized my body will never feel warm again. In the moonlit classroom, Yumizuka Satsuki slowly bites into Tonoshiki's neck. Bonjour, and now the hint corner for the sake of the precocious Tono-kun who easily meets another dead end. It is time for Teach Me, Ciel Sensei. Now the first period lesson of the third day. The only remaining lessons are about Arihiko-san's route. Nya? Sensei, why would Hisui's lessons be done before Akiha's? Question denied. Now Tono-kun, I understand how you feel, but Yumizuka-san is in big trouble. Isn't Shiki the one in trouble? Enough, it is big trouble. A girl your own age is in trouble, so this is no time to be shying away from danger. Please go back a little earlier and be sure to investigate the back alley. Well then, see you in the next lesson. I don't get it. Why would Hisui be done before Akiha? I just don't get it. I'm the main heroine and I don't get much screen time, and Shiki ignores me. Yeah, I don't get it. It's just me, and even Ciel has an appearance, but you only get to see me from behind. What's more, Sachin's acting more like a vampire than I am. What the heck is this, Kinoko? I just don't get it. Don't get it. Don't get it. It is hilarious, though, the fact that, we literally did just see the back of Arcuit's head. Like, I think by now, yeah, we would have killed her, and the third day I think is like when we encounter her again. But very interesting, like there's already been so much new information and new scenes, which is great. I love that. Because normally we have to wait till like day, 3 or 4 before we really get some new content. Yeah, a lot of emphasis on this girl, so I'm glad that she's getting some screen time, because I was like, oh, it's kind of weird that they gave this girl a sprite and barely done anything with her in the past couple of routes. So Yumizuka is finally becoming important. A little bit of Akiha. Like, this is Akiha's route, and we aren't really getting much with her, but I'm assuming that will change. So yeah, the question is, with Yumizuka, like, how much is she going to factor into this? She seems very connected to us, and I wonder if it is just that moment in middle school when we saved her that she's kind of carried that torch for us the whole time, or if there's something more to it. It feels like it's almost like the Yumizuka route rather than the Akiha route, but I am very happy that, like, with this one, we're getting so much new information, so many new scenes already, so that's great. So we're gonna save her in the next episode and see where we go from there. So that is part 1 of Akiha's route so far. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned next week for, see what happens next. Until then, bye. Special shoutouts to my top tier patrons: Revealing Storm, Emily Hornsby, Henry98, Linsby A, Kenju Storm, and Icognito.